Hey, Dreadheads. This is, of course, part 4 of the Adventures of Matthew Robinson, Ohio versus California Barbed Wire Deathmatch, and this is my audio commentary from the director, creator, and writer, Matthew Robinson. Now, of course, as you can see here, we saw those little digital pixelations. You'll probably won't see any clips with the digital pixelations past part 5, which is the part after this. Again, those are the parts that got magnetized. This scene came actually out a little bit better than I expected. Because we were filming at night, but the control dashboards came out very well. This was, of course, before I had an HD camera, so this was a very standard mini DV camera, but it comes out pretty well, I think, actually. And you get the basic gist. We're driving actually through Wyoming, Ohio, headed to Wendy's, and we decided just to shoot the scene there. The original script called for it to be in the day, but we thought it'd be more appropriate that we did it at night, since usually when we go to Wendy's and order something, it's at night anyway. And as you can see, you're ordering. This is a real order, and we just incorporate it into the script because it works so perfectly. My character's talking about how, everything just doesn't go his way. High school's been miserable for him. And then, lo and behold, during the middle of the Wendy's, the order that I make for like a McFlurry, not a McFlurry, a Wendy's Frosty with like Oreo pieces in it, is they don't have anymore. They can't make it for me that night, and it was just like perfect timing for my character. And you only catch the end of it because that's how it works. Now we go back here to Santa Monica College, and Loveland is talking on the phone. I think this is actually the last time you'll see Aaron in this film, but he's talking basically to me, and Aaron does a good job of selling it. The voice you hear, my voice, the actual thing, is actually not a audio track we put over later in post-edit. This was live. I was just behind the camera, and I was giving my responses, and then we had Aaron walk towards the camera, and we walked back. This is one of those low-budget things where you just wish you had the equipment so I could dolly, and it could be more of a straight line, so it's not so obvious I'm walking back. Right there, you just saw the title the next day. We had massive problems with post-editing with titles. We had to make small changes, and the titles got a little mixed up. But because of how I rendered it and compressed the file to make it easier to edit and to burn to a disk, we couldn't really change it in time. And because my old computer crashed, I can't go back to the raw files and change it, but which is not that big of a deal. Now here we go to the Pineapple Fountain, which was in the course in the first movie. And we have here, I'm in the middle, of course. Then on the right is Kyle Jones, and on the left is Patrick Turner. And Patrick Turner wasn't in the first movie, but he'd always wanted to be in one of my movies, and so I finally was able to put him in a movie. Kyle was in the first movie, of course, and then Jordan was there too. And Jordan does a little directing here, and I let him hold the camera, and he made some direction choices. It's Patrick there again. You'll see him later. There's me, giving my kind of spiel about how I'm getting annoyed with Ohio. That's always interesting to see. And this was a fun scene to do because it does really, all these wishes that are made. It's just these wishes, and we really base part of the script on it. I mean, obviously, one of the rules for the Adventures of Matthew Robinson, the original series, is that the storyline is never supposed to be that strong. It's more about just a vehicle for the jokes. There are only a few Adventures of Matthew Robinson storylines where it was heavily on the story. And as you see caution flying balls, that is a real sign. It's actually for a lacrosse field, and sometimes when the guy was playing lacrosse, balls would fly out, and the lacrosse balls would fly out of the yard, so that's what made the caution flying balls sign, and we just had to make fun of it for a scene. This next scene is a lot of people's favorite scene. A lot of people like the scene. Some people don't find it the best, but most people who I run into enjoy this scene. And this is with Chris Lippert. Chris Lippert, of course, had a small part, but a very funny part in the first Adventures of Matthew Robinson. He kind of continues that. Here, his part is not ginormous. As always, he's more of a supporting cast member, of course, more of not even a secondary character. But he does such a great job. And he's so funny that I had to put him in here. And this is Kristen Mimms, who was not in the first movie, but we wanted to put a relationship because one of the great things about The Adventures of Matthew Robinson in the first series was that it was all about Matthew, my character, always failing with women, which is actually kind of very similar to real life, but obviously over-exaggerated in the film. And Kristen Mimms on the track team, and we gave her this script, and she ran with it. She did a great job doing it. We just filmed right here, the scene with Chris, his little jabs into it, perfectly timed. Chris has great comedic timing, and Kristen Mimms, just her facial expressions and the way she reacts to Chris and to me, she just hit it right on the head. She did just a great job, and of course she's a very pretty girl, and so the character just worked, I think. In this whole scene, she was a really good choice. She was one of the first choices, pretty much the first choice we had when me and Gabe were looking over and thinking, well, what girl can we get from her school? Or I guess I should say woman, since she's over there. But what woman can we get to be Matthew's love interest in this? And we chose Kristen. We knew she would go through with it, and she did. And she did a great job. This opening scene kind of introduces her character, and my character just trying to go after her. Great scene, of course. And of course, Chris Lippert is continuing to step on my game in this scene. Always. Now, I've tried, though I haven't been able to figure out something. I've always wanted to make a t-shirt or some sort of merchandise from this scene, since so many people like it. But I have yet to be able to figure out something. So if anyone has any suggestions about merchandise can be done for this scene, please let me know, because I would love to do it and then sell it. Hopefully I can make some sales off of it. Parts of this were improv. Not 90% of this scene was written in the script. Mostly Chris's reactions. I gave my actors a little bit of liberty with it, but not too much, because it was really going to be heavily reliant on the timing of the jokes and how they were delivered. So I wanted to be a little bit more heavily scripted. But not too much. I do want to always kind of give my actors a little bit of breathing room to inject their own voice or their own brand of humor into the film, which I think that what makes these movies so much fun, is that the actors are getting to be a little bit like themselves, or caricatures of themselves, or who they want to be or who they don't want to be, but they always inject it into their humor. And so this scene's about to finish up in a second, and I just want to remind everyone that Part 5 is going to be coming soon. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. You're going to see a great scene from the Adventures of that's a character from the original Adventures of Matthew Robinson series. You're going to see him make an appearance. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't seen the film, and we'll see you then. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, it's all in the hair. Oh, yeah. Well, that's all I have to say, really.